passed away this spring and will be remembered as a true trailblazer, an attorney who led the charge to make same-sex marriage legal here in Iowa, as a tireless champion for many underrepresented groups, but most of all, to many of us, a dear friend. Sharon, we miss you, and we hold your memory as an inspiration for how we stand up for others. So, speaking of inspirations, I also want to thank Courtney Reyes of One Iowa, who, along with group publisher Chris Konetsky and editor Michael Moines, who are on stage and around here somewhere, are going to be helping with today's program. Courtney will come up on stage a little bit later. And of course, a very special thanks to Connie Weimer and to the DSM team for their vision and their hard work on each one of our honorees' stories, plus many other BBC colleagues who worked hard to make this event run so smoothly. If you work for BBC and DSM, can you stand and let us recognize them? Thank you. So as you may have noticed, we have sign language interpreters here with us today from Life Interpretation, Inc. Making our events inclusive and accessible is a priority for us here at our company, so we are very pleased to have you here with us. So again, welcome to the event. By honoring the past, sharing stories, and lifting each other up, we keep moving forward together. And this is more important than ever at a time when LGBTQ rights are under increased attack nationwide. So enjoy your evening. At this time, it is my pleasure to now welcome Chris Konetsky, our group publisher. Chris has been with BBC for over 10 years, and he has been a true champion of our inclusion efforts. So I will welcome him onto the stage now. Thank you.
Thank you, Susanna. Susanna, when she joined us in 2019, right from the very start, efforts like this were something that she started to infuse into our company. So we're really grateful for the energy that she's brought to the company so that we can help put on things like tonight's event and our publications. She's really helping lead us on the journey. So let's give Susanna a big round of applause. I now like to thank our sponsors tonight who have helped make tonight possible. Of course, having great allies in the community to help support events like this that we can help put on is only possible because of our sponsors. And our first sponsor tonight is our co-presenting sponsor, American Equity. As a leading retirement income provider located in Des Moines for over 22 years, American Equity has leaned on their commitment to service, product, integrity, and financial strength as guiding principles to serve their clients. Joining us today from American Equity is Catherine Saunders, Vice President of Talent and Human Resource Business Partner at American Equity. Please give her a round of applause.
Good evening. I'm honored to stand here before you tonight representing American Equity as a presenting sponsor of this remarkable event. We're incredibly proud to sponsor tonight's award ceremony, celebrating our honorees and their outstanding contributions as LGBTQ leaders, activists, and allies. At American Equity, we recognize the importance of fostering a work environment where all of our team members are able to bring their whole selves to the workplace, where everyone can show up authentically so that we can fulfill our mission of delivering financial dignity in retirement for all. We recognize that the importance of fostering a diverse, inclusive, and equitable environment goes beyond the communities where we work. It must also be applied to communities where we live across the state of Iowa and around the world. Tonight, we're in the presence of leaders, change makers, and visionaries who have shattered ceilings, tirelessly fought for equal rights
Our next co-presenting sponsor, One Iowa, has supported this event from the start. One Iowa advances, empowers, and improves the lives of LGBTQ Iowans statewide through education, advocacy, and collaboration. I'm pleased to introduce One Iowa's Executive Director, Courtney Reyes, to the stage to give a few remarks. Please welcome Courtney.
I'm always the shortest person, so give me a moment here. Hello, y'all. My name is Courtney Reyes, and I am the Executive Director of One Iowa. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. Thank you to DSN Magazine for hosting this incredible event, and we are proud to be a presenting sponsor with American Equity. Most of you probably already know about One Iowa, but I'll tell you a little bit, just in case you're new to the party. One Iowa is the state's largest LGBTQ organization, and we work to improve the lives of LGBTQ Iowans every single day. We stand on the shoulders of so many people that came before us to make the work that we're doing now possible. Many of them are being honored here tonight or have been honored in years past. I can't help but think of our co-founder, Sharon Malero, who Susanna mentioned earlier. She was in the inaugural class of the Legacy Leader Awards, and I miss having her smile and nod in this room tonight. Sharon had the foresight to see if we could get marriage here in Iowa, we could get it anywhere. That grit and determination is something that I carry along in my leadership with me as we are fighting for what is right here in our city. As you can imagine, our goals have changed since those early days of One Iowa, but what hasn't wavered is our fight for equality. We have three main pillars at One Iowa. The first one, improving workplace culture. Did you all know that about 50% of Americans are not fully out of work? So you show up to work and you only get to be a little bit of yourself. Our second pillar is improving access to health care. Right now in our state, our health care is actively being taken away. Actually, on Monday, September 18th, transgender youth will not be able to receive the health care that is life-saving for them because it will be banned in Iowa. That's just a little bit of the work that we do. One of my favorite programs of One Iowa is our Leadership Institute. We've graduated over 100 individuals in the past 5 years, 6 years of the Leadership Institute. These folks are changing our world right now, but I can't wait to see what they do in 10, 15, 20 years. These folks are our future. We speak at conferences, we're on panels, we have inclusivity trainings that we do all across the state. I have a tiny but mighty team, 7 people, and we've trained over 4,500 people across the state to make an impact and to make life better for LGBTQ Iowans. While all of that work that I just told you about is incredibly important, our biggest job right now is to stop the slew of anti-LGBTQ legislation that is happening at the Iowa State Capitol. Did you know that there were 31 anti-LGBTQ bills introduced into the Iowa legislature? 31. And 4 of those passed. 4 of those bills are actively harming our trans youth, LGBTQ Iowans, people in general. These bills are not good for anyone, and we are tired of being political pawns. Whew, this always makes my eyes kind of stingy when I think about all those kiddos who don't have access to health care on Monday. So what I hope you also heard is that we stopped 27 of those anti-LGBT. The One Iowa team is sitting right here, and I tell you, we are small and mighty, and we build partnerships, and we collaborate, and we will do anything we can to protect LGBTQ Iowans, because that is our job. So those 4 hurt, and you may have heard my voice quiver as I am up here, because I am angry, and I am scared, so tired. But being in a room full of people who want to support us is so powerful. So I like to tuck these moments into my pocket because we need them. So I hope you hear the stories tonight and you feel inspired. I hope you feel joy. One of our main goals at One Iowa is to have queer joy. I always point to like the ominous capital. Cannot take that from us. We are here and we're not going anywhere. But, roughly 200 people in this room? We need each and every one of you. This is not on trans people. This is not on LGBTQ people to do this work. We need allies. I need you to feel inspired, but most of all, I need you to feel fired. Because in 20 years, when this event is hosting the 25th anniversary of the LGBTQ Legacy Leader Awards, we need LGBTQ people to be available to be celebrated. And right now, LGBTQ people are leaving our state. They are terrified, and they're also dying. So how can we celebrate someone if they're not here? So my call to action to you tonight is to feel inspired, but to feel some fire in your belly, because it's going to get way worse than it was this past session, and we're going to need all of you. So I'm Courtney, I'm with One Iowa. We're here to help, we're here to support, but I hope you will join me in giving a damn about the LGBTQ community.
Thank you again to Courtney and the One Iowa team for taking the people's frustration, anger, things you guys are feeling and pulling and putting it into something, channeling into solutions. So thank you. Let's give them a big round of applause. Our first supporting sponsor tonight is Broadlawns Medical Center, which is committed to providing an inclusive environment where everyone is treated with fairness, dignity, and respect. Broadlawns works to strengthen our community by ensuring access to high-quality and affordable health care for patients while fostering an inclusive workplace for their employees. Due to a company-wide event supporting their foundation work, our partners from Broadlawns are unable to join us in person tonight, but we want to thank them for their unwavering commitment to supporting our LGBTQ community and advancing the principles of diversity, equity, and inclusion every day. Let's give Broadlawns a big round of applause. Our final supporting sponsor tonight is Tarot International. Since 1993, Tarot International has earned a distinguished reputation as a premier interpersonal skills research and corporate training company. We're proud to say BBC has worked with Tarot on a number of DEI initiatives. Please welcome Allison Hayter, Director of Learning at Tarot, to the stage. Allison.
Thank you to BBC and DSM Magazine for hosting this incredible event. It makes me cry every year, and we've already started. We are truly honored to be able to be a part of the sponsors to help this incredible event happen. Endless congratulations to this year's honorees. It's incredible to hear your inspiring stories. Truly, your stories showcase the courage, the commitment, and it's a pleasure that you share your time and energy with us. Your decisions as legacy leaders have not only opened doors for others, but also challenged the status quo, changed hearts and minds, and led to truth and authenticity. Your actions have played a pivotal role in creating stronger communities here in Iowa. As a queer woman myself, it's deeply personal and deeply heartening to be in a room full of people in Iowa who truly know the important work that we have to do and who are committed and willing to be fired to make that work happen. Everyone present here today It's a critical need for our businesses and our communities to support that diversity. While we have much to celebrate here today, it's also evident that there's a lot of work that still needs to happen. It's important to me that the work we do at Tarot International helps our community move forward. We aim to equip individuals with the skills and knowledge to be able to build bridges, to inspire change, to foster empathy, and to lead with understanding. We take pride in being able to say that we have reached thousands of professionals in various industries and had the opportunity to witness firsthand the truly transformative power of inclusive leadership. That being said, we know we're still a work in progress, as all of us are. Like most businesses, we are continuously evolving and challenging ourselves. Our commitment to research-based training and coaching strives to help others to expand their learning, their knowledge, to be able to support our communities. With that knowledge, I truly hope that we can continue to foster more inclusive Iowa. And a sincere thank you to the legacy leaders here tonight to help trailblaze that way. Congratulations.
Thank you again to all of today's sponsors. We're going to be introducing tonight's honorees momentarily, but before we do, please enjoy this beautiful video today featuring LGBTQ legacy leaders honorees.
If I were looking back and had the opportunity to kind of go back and talk to my younger self, and this at any stage really of my younger self, I would sit down and say, you're doing better than you think you are.
If I could tell my younger self anything, it would be, don't be so serious. Lighten up. Enjoy life.
I think I'd say to my younger self, don't lose hope. Stay focused. Be energetic. Take risks. Try things. Travel the world. Come back home.
I guess I would say, you're going to live a wonderful life. Take advantage of all the opportunities that other people give you.
What I would tell my younger self is keep your chin up. It's all going to work out. Like, you will realize your dreams, even the dreams you don't realize you have right now. And also maybe pay a little bit more attention in English class, because people are going to dog you about those comments for the rest of your life.
I cause good trouble as much as I can. There's nothing more important to me than pride and feeling pride in who they are. And so my whole life has been dedicated to making the world a better place.
I always think just be yourself, and that's what a lot of people really appreciate. Like I said, even if they don't agree with you on a lot of different things.
There are always going to be people that aren't as positive as we'd like them to be, or don't see things the way that we'd like them to see them. But we get a responsibility to help them change their view too, and see the world differently.
You know, life is fragile, and tomorrow's not promised. So we try to do the best that we can today to make a positive difference in all people's lives, regardless of who they love, regardless of if they go to church or not, regardless of their political affiliation. We can agree to disagree in a civil way.
There is no other. We are one human family, and it's just us. And the sooner we realize that, the better our world's going to be. But steadfast and perseverance are extremely important.
All that it takes to make a hurricane is for a butterfly to flap its wings. Little things will always lead to big things.
There is so much to be said about persistence. You can outlive or outwait most things, right? You just keep moving forward, yeah, hear that, got it. But if you have a mission and you know you're centered on that purpose, you just don't stop.
I would tell people today, model the behavior you want to see, show up, be steadfast in your thinking, and you can make a change in the world.
You know, it's been pretty heavy lately for the LGBTQ community. I guess the way I try to escape that is remembering who's around me and sometimes really just focusing on the good things in my life outside of all that noise. But I also think that getting involved in community organizations that I'm passionate about that are making a difference help me as well. Hunger, housing, mental health. What are all the ways that our community is kind of being attacked these days? And where can we spread out our talent?
I believe that change is possible and we can win a better future for ourselves, for our community, for our state.
You're always going to have people that think it's kind of fluffy stuff, it's not credible, it's not valid. And my response to that is you meet them where they're at. Of course, you're going to get people to debunk that and say that bias doesn't work. And I would say, well, yeah, if I go to the gym once, I'm not going to get any guns on my arms, right? You've got to continue to do it. It's a process. Meeting people where they're at. Awareness, education, application, observation.
Iowa in general, my hope is that we continue to be that state that has open arms and open minds. And when we start to feel like we don't have an open mind, that we question ourselves. And I really believe that that can happen. We just all have to keep seeing a bigger vision of what we want our state to be and how we want our people to feel.
There's a lot of ways of being an ally. You don't have to always come out and march and knock on doors. That's important if that's what you do. But the most important thing that I learned from my brother is to be there, to listen, to be a friend, to show compassion to the LGBT community.
For all the LGBTQ and queer youth, I will always say that I know things are hard right now, and the road ahead might be a little bit rocky, but the future is always better with you in it. And you can realize your dreams in a better place to live. Keep your chin up, and we'll see you down the road.
You already know this is you already know that this is a great group of honorees. I'm excited for you to get to meet them a little bit more tonight. And to do that, Michael Moraine, DSM's editor, and Courtney Reyes, who you met earlier from One Iowa, are going to be introducing tonight's honorees. And I'm Chris Konetsky, your publisher at BPC. We're here to help. We're here to help raise awareness around the issues and challenges here in this community to make sure this is a great community for all of us to be living and working in. Michael, I'm going to turn it over to you.
I'll tell you, as you might guess from watching that video, those days that we recorded it were so fun, and it was sort of an inspiration overload. It was just a fire hose of wisdom from really, really inspiring people for 2 very long days. So it was also a daunting challenge to capture their stories for tonight, in tonight's program, and in the issue of DSM that is on your table with you. There was a lot that we wanted to share, and we will do our best tonight to do that, but I encourage you to keep reading and share these stories that you hear tonight. Each honoree has contributed so much to make Iowa a more welcoming and inclusive place to call home. And so our whole team at DSM and Business Publications Corporation is proud to help get their stories on the record and share them with all of you. So, as Chris mentioned, we're going to get to know them a little bit more tonight. This is Iowa, so you probably know some of them already. But we're going to learn a few things about them, starting with tonight's LGBTQ Ally Award honoree, Dr. Rich Salas. Rich is the first one, so the logistics, you're going to set the example, Rich. So you can stay in your spot, and then during the thunderous applause, you can come up then. So, in a world where diversity is our greatest strength, it's essential to have allies who continue to stand up for and support the rights and dignity of all individuals. And today's LGBTQ Ally Award honoree, Dr. Rich Salas, works tirelessly to do that. As Chief Diversity Officer at Des Moines University, Rich is responsible for multicultural programming and trains students, faculty, and staff in the areas of cultural competency and humility. He and his colleagues work to create an inclusive campus culture that helps prepare empathetic graduates for future careers in healthcare. Working closely with the university's president and CEO, Dr. Angela Walker Franklin, Rich helped initiate an LGBTQ health and wellness conference, a transgender health series, a Pride Lions Club, and ongoing partnerships with One Iowa and many others. As Rich told us for the magazine, and you heard it in the video, life is fragile, and tomorrow is not promised. We try to do the best we can today to make a positive difference in all people's lives, regardless of who they love, regardless of who they are. One of last year's honorees, Dr. Pamela Duffy, is a professor emerita at DMU and wrote this. Dr. Salas has touched the lives of more than 5,000 health professionals who are now in the field providing leadership and offering culturally sensitive healthcare to the LGBTQ+ community wherever they practice. So, we at DSM Magazine are proud to recognize Dr. Rich Salas as the 2023 LGBTQ Ally of the Year.
This recognition holds a special place in my heart. For me, it symbolizes not only progress at the individual level, but also at the collective level. The combined strength that's in this room, the compassion, the empathy and support within all of us towards the LGBTQI community holds significant potential. As already mentioned a couple times, particularly now, during the social and political challenges that we face. So this collective effort can make a substantial impact, as Courtney said, moving forward. We can't be sitting on the sidelines. We've got to get active. I would like to thank the individuals who nominated me, beginning with our DMU President and CEO, Dr. Angela Walker Franklin. None of the work, let me repeat that again, none of the work that we do would be possible without the support and the leadership of Dr. Franklin. Thank you, Dr. I would also like to thank my friend and colleague, Sue Hubbard, who is the Chief External Affairs Officer at DMU. Thank you, Sue. And as you heard a bit ago, definitely want to thank Dr. Duffy for submitting a letter on behalf of my nomination. Last but not least, at least for this portion, I want to thank my family, my beautiful spouse, Beatrice, my son Richard, and Janelle. Please stand up. This is my family. Thank you for your ongoing support and your love. I want to reiterate something that's really important for me, that this award really reflects the outstanding leadership that we have at Des Moines University. As I mentioned, starting with President Franklin, but also our Board of Trustees, our executive leadership team, our students, Pride Alliance, my colleague, Elena Micah, do incredible work every day So it's not an individual. Yes, I guess it's, you know, an ally leader award, but for me it's collective. I can only do what we do. Inclusivity is not a word that we toss around at DMU. We don't toss the word around. Inclusivity is one of our main tenets and has required strategic action and planning. Allyship and inclusivity go hand in hand. You cannot have one without the other. You can't. So in healthcare, every single person cared for deserves to be treated with respect, with compassion, and with dignity. In fact, our mission at DMU states to improve lives in our global community by educating diverse groups of highly competent and compassionate healthcare professionals. For us, that means everyone, not just some folks, everyone must be treated with respect, with compassion, with dignity. LGBTQI rights are human rights. Do you agree? Of course you do. As you saw in the video, the interview video, I became a little emotional when I reflected on my late brother. My late brother Nessus, and his life journey. So for me, becoming an ally to the LGBTQ community was a process that started with my brother over 50 years ago. I know I don't look 50, but you know, I didn't always get things right. I made some mistakes along the way. But I was willing to learn and to unlearn some things. So thank you, Ernesto, and thank you to the LGBTQ community for teaching me the value of acceptance, courage, and resilience. I can say this for certain. I still have plenty of work to do. We still have plenty of work to do ahead of us. As allies and advocates, we must continue to challenge prejudice, to challenge discrimination and oppressive systems to ensure that everyone, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity, can live freely and authentically and without fear. Audre Lorde once said, "It is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences." Finally, we must all continue to have faith in humanity and believe that together we can build a brighter and more inclusive future for all human beings. Thank you very much.
In an evening that is full of Rich, and Rick. But our first LGBTQ Leader Award honoree is the Reverend Rich Hendricks. Rich took a circuitous route to being the pastor of the Metropolitan Community Church of the Quad Cities. He grew up in Davenport, graduated from Drake, and then went on to pursue a law degree at the University of Virginia. During his final year of law school, he married a woman, and after graduation, they started a family. He was practicing law and started on a path to becoming a politician when he switched course, went to divinity school, and became a pastor in Mississippi. At the age of 40, he came out to his family and, in his mind, effectively ended his career as a pastor. After returning to the practice of law in Chicago, he met his first husband, who introduced him to the Metropolitan Community Churches, an international denomination that affirms LGBTQ inclusion and social justice. After jumping through some hoops, he had come full circle to lead a congregation back in the Quad Cities, right where he grew up. In this role, he has performed thousands of weddings for gay and straight couples alike, and has hosted seminars on LGBTQ history, sexuality, and identity. He has helped found numerous organizations, including QC Pride and One Human Family, to help all types of marginalized communities. Rich told us at the magazine, "I've learned how incredibly diverse humanity is and how we're all the same. I'm still amazed at the number of people who insist that the world is black and white. I feel sorry for them because they are missing out on so much." So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the guy with the best shoes in the room, Pastor Rich Hendricks.
Is my spirituality. I believe everyone needs connection in their lives, and I believe that we are at our best when we are connected to the divine or to our higher power, however we conceive that to be, connected to nature, and connected to each other. Connection and relationships energize us to fight for equality. And those connections remind us that there is no other, that we are all one human family. When we find the connection, whether it's in a blues song, or at a mosque, a temple, or a gay bar. The first gay bar that I ever visited was called the Sanctuary. And it was, for me. When we connect, however we connect, we know without a doubt that our diversity is worth fighting for. Justice is intersectional. And so at this LGBTQ Legacy Award, I just want to remind us that Black Lives Matter. That all religions matter and the right to no religion matters. And basically that none of us are free until all of us are free. Thank you so much to my husband, Jeff Transu, to my community, and to the Metropolitan Community Church of the Quad Cities. That is an awesome, awesome place that lets me preach radically. And all of those who helped me remember to love unconditionally, and when I'm at my best, help me and all of us to have fun enjoying life and to advocate for every member of our one human family. Thank you so much.
Okay, Rick Miller, you're up next. This first point is very important. Rick Miller was there when someone threw a banana cream pie at the anti-gay activist Anita Bryant in 1970. He helped several influential LGBTQ organizations start up here in Iowa in the 1980s and 90s, and he was certainly there when Iowa legalized same-sex marriage in 2009. He has witnessed and often mischievously initiated so many turning points in our recent history. Rick taught elementary school art in Newton for 32 years and then spent another 5 years as a substitute teacher here in Des Moines. In 2005, he was named Educator of the Year by the Newton Community School District. During that time, he joined a number of gay organizations, but kept a low profile for fear of losing his job. Even so, he often ended up on the boards of those organizations. Rick was instrumental in establishing the Iowa Safe Schools Initiative and helped secure funding for the Governor's Conference on LGBTQ Youth. He was involved with a groundbreaking group called the Gay Coalition of Des Moines, has been active with the Des Moines Gay Men's Chorus for more than 30 years, and is currently involved with the Des Moines Pride Center. In the words of the Pride Center's president, Diana Prince, Rick is tireless in his work to make LGBTQ+ people visible and accepted. He gave others courage by his own example and his encouragement to show up and be involved. DSM Magazine is proud to recognize Rick Miller as a 2023 LGBTQ.
I just heard firsthand experiences of the people that did. There was a controversy at one time about whether it was actually chocolate or banana cream. I'm here to tell you it was banana cream. And her first response was, at least it was a fruit pie. I'd like to also thank Connie, all the staff at DSM Magazine, and all of you for being here. Family, friends, people I haven't seen in a long time. It's good to see you all. And One Iowa, thank you for your participation. Thank you for your leadership, especially Mr. Jones. And I wanted to just make a couple points. When I was in college at UNI, I had a little crisis. I liked art, I liked music, and I liked history. I was trying to figure out how I was going to integrate all those things together. And it turns out that working in the gay community, you can do all three of those things. So as a teacher, I just want you to know that I was a groomer. I groomed art students, and that's it, other than good character in all of them. And my participation in the gay community was often below the radar because I wanted to keep earning money so I could help fund all the different organizations that we now have here. And that started with community centers. Community centers started it all by incubating a lot of different committees that later became standalone. And many of those people are here today. When the Gay Coalition of Des Moines brought the Twin City Gay Men's Chorus, or Men's Chorus at the time, to Des Moines, it caused us to want to do a chorus here too. And although the first chorus, the men's chorus, didn't last much over 7 or 8 years, it was reignited in 2001 and it became the one you see today. So my thanks to everyone that works with the Des Moines Gay Men's Chorus. But the community centers also have spawned some 30 different organizations locally here. And it's just an amazing tribute to those foundations that were started back in the late 70s. And some of them fell, and some of them rose again, and some of them just changed. And almost many of those organizations can find their roots there. So my thanks to the DSM Magazine for recognizing me, and I would like to also just point out a few other things that the business community did. And one is, during the AIDS crisis of the mid-'80s, a person named Gary Moore helped a great deal with the All Iowa AIDS Benefit. He pounded the streets along with his mother and went to organizations and individuals everywhere. And by organizations, I mean businesses that contributed money and offered services and so on, so that they could raise hundreds of thousands of dollars to help during the AIDS crisis across the whole state of Iowa. That tribute is just amazing. Thank you, business community, for all that you've done to help us. And even today, we have restaurant owners, bar owners, we have owners of all kinds of businesses that are LGBT right here in Des Moines. And so I want to thank One Iowa for modeling diversity, inclusion, and equity for all those that don't already have it. And finally, I would like to thank my family who are here from all parts of Iowa. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. And I want to just plug the Des Moines Pride Center. Its archives and history are filling a place where we need to have more input and help. We have a library of nearly 4,000 LGBT books that you can't find in the schools necessarily. And we curated a show called Evolution of the Revolution, 50 Years Since Stonewall, at the Polk County Heritage Gallery, which compared and contrasted what happened in Iowa compared to what happened in the nation in LGBT rights. Sometimes we're ahead of the game, sometimes we're behind. It involves a very interesting history, which is both sad and happy, exciting, exhilarating, and something we should all know more about. So thank you for any sponsorship you might give to the Pride Center. And with that, have a good evening. I'm enjoying it all.
To all the honorees, what a wonderful evening we have going. I'm going to take over on the mic here for a little bit if I can get it steady. All right. I'm pleased to introduce a very joyful human being, Lori Bateman. Give it up, y'all. Lori founded Iowa Jobs for America graduates in 1999 with the simple yet daunting goal to help students succeed. She designed iJag to serve as a bridge between the world of work and school. But it wasn't long before she realized that not everyone was treated the same. She witnessed how young people living in poverty and from underserved neighborhoods, or those identified as any other thing that was perceived as normal, often struggled and faced obstacles. She made it her mission to help. Lori told us, we have kids struggling with who they are, where they grew up, and what they could become. They're going through all types of abuse, bullying, and neglect. So we started iJag to make sure that every young person knew, whoever they were, however they showed up, that we wanted to work with them. Daniel Zinnel, the CEO of Proteus, and my old boss, it's all full circle here, folks, told DSM Magazine that Lori has been a champion of the nonprofit industry, supporting youth, getting the resources that they need, and being an incredible role model for the LGBTQ individuals to aspire to be a leader like her. DSM Magazine is proud to recognize Lori Balin as a 2023 LGBTQ Legacy Leader.
I'm quite humbled. We started the conversation with a reminder of Sharon Valero, and she was a good friend and an advocate for both IJEG and all young individuals and adults in this community. So I'm humbled to be in the company of these honorees today and those that have received this award in the past. Because of their leadership, their persistence, their activism, and you all know we wouldn't be here if it weren't for resilience. I never thought of myself in that category. So here's where the fun part starts. I grew up on a small farm in Farrar, Iowa. You're all thinking, where the hell's that? I did too. Imagine growing up in a small, rural, Irish Catholic community with very few neighbors, realizing that while you're looking through the JCPenney catalog in the women's underwear section, that you like girls more than boys. In that way. At that moment in the bathroom of our small house, I realized I was a little different than the others. And honestly, I was ashamed and embarrassed and hid a lot of myself for a long time. I hated high school. It was horrible. I felt alone, misunderstood, wondering, why am I like this? It was a scary place to be. But unlike many LGBTQ kids in the early 70s, I was blessed with an awesome tribe of people around me. And unconditionally loving family who are here today. I don't know why I'm getting emotional like this today. I really learned from their modeling the basic truths of humility and that everybody matters. And honestly, that saved me. I thought that even though I had experienced sexual abuse as a kid and struggled with my orientation, I always knew that I was loved. And so many kids don't know that. They don't feel it. The late Sinead O'Connor has a song that captures, I think, that painful struggle. And the song goes, you know, I'm not from this place. And it's real uncomfortable to be stuck somewhere you really don't feel you belong. But I've got 8 good reasons to stick around. If you haven't heard that song, please listen to it. I recognize the insecurity and struggles on the faces of so many kids, and you've seen it too. And I wasn't okay with that. I saw myself there. I wanted them to know how important they were, even if it was just to give them attention and a little hug. So in the simple ways that I learned growing up, I decided that we could figure out a way to help them see their future self, help them know their importance in this planet. And that became the core of IJEG. It started with giving them attention, safety, belonging, the basic core principles that we're all grown up with, or we should have grown up with. And then when they got that piece done, and they helped them see a bigger world and opportunities, and then self-advocacy. You should see these kids when they get on fire that I'm okay, regardless if I'm gay or lesbian, or if I have purple hair or high heel shoes, it doesn't matter. I'm okay. Even when I'm talking to the governor, just saying. Anyway, if you know me at all, you know that I'm intensely persistent. And with that and passion, IJEG grew in the support of many of you here to serve over 35,000 young people and demonstrating unconditional love always. But we have still got a lot of work to do. I'm halfway jet lagged because I just returned from the Buddhist country of Bhutan last night. Their core belief and practices there is that everyone is connected and everything is connected and is important and necessary. Plants and animals and natural resources and all things and all humans. They embrace differences. Their practices stem from the basic principle of love and compassion for our world and all things and each other, not material things, not power. They're a third world country. Just saying. I believe that when all of us think and act this way, there's going to be change in our world, in ourselves and each other. We are the influencers, y'all. You know that. We're the people that have to make it happen. I'll be working tirelessly on my compassion for those with narrow views who might be in this direction, that cause people to feel less than who they are, who don't value each of us, who don't understand that we can't leave anyone out of this equation if we ever want joy in our lives. I know that advocacy is life-saving. I hope that each of us can find our ways to help each other have a more enlightened world. And when we do that, I know that our children will say, thank you for hearing me. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for seeing me. I really appreciate this moment. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lori. Okay, next up we have Scott Malbert. Even though it's not young. Scott Malbert came out to his coworkers in 1995 at a time when doing so was less common and accepted than it is now. His decision was prompted by office chatter he overheard about the ousting of Jonathan Zolfson from the Des Moines School Board. As Scott put it, people at work were saying some pretty awful things, and I finally just had to say to everyone, hey, you need to stop this because I'm gay, and what you're saying is super hurtful. And everyone just went quiet. From that point on, Scott was compelled to speak up and take on leadership roles both within organizations where he worked and in the community at large. Over the years, he has been involved with many LGBTQ nonprofits, including Iowa Safe Schools, One Iowa, and Human Rights Campaign, as well as numerous other organizations such as the United Way of Central Iowa and the Young Women's Resource Center. He has also worked to help his employers be more inclusive. Bankers Trust Senior Vice President Emily Abbas told DSM Magazine that she watched Scott both work behind the scenes and on the front lines to ensure that all voices were heard and that individuals were treated with fairness. His kind and inclusive approach has made our community a better place. DSM Magazine is proud to recognize Scott Albert as a 2023 LGBTQ Legacy Leader.
The men's section, the underwear section, basically, was pretty great too. And I needed that little bit of levity to get me started. You know, I've written a lot of speeches for a lot of people on a lot of topics. But finding the words to say how much I appreciate this was really, really hard. So bear with me. I'm so glad that you mentioned Jonathan. I think everybody has an origin story. Everybody who's gay has an origin story, right? The moment you came out. Now, mine might have been when I was 5 years old and I kept decorating my friend Holly's Barbie house. But truly, as an adult, my origin story and what set me on a path to, I guess, have a legacy was Jonathan Wilson, right here. situation that he certainly didn't expect or ask for. And people were, like Courtney said, not being really great about it, and they were saying horrible things. And that prompted me to say, I have to come out, I have to say something. And from that point forward, I realized that when you do that, you really do change minds and you really do change hearts. I'm humbled to accept this award alongside leaders who are making a huge impact in politics, in helping student youth, in health and religion. I think my role helping make a difference in the corporate world is small compared to some of theirs. So all of you, it's an honor to share the stage with you as we join a really esteemed group of former legacy leaders. I think looking back, as I mentioned, it really is the bravery and commitment of others that gets us to this point, that gave me the courage to come out. In addition to Jonathan and his story, Sharon Alero had a huge impact on me early on by having faith in me to get me involved in the fight for marriage equality. That early experience, seeing what a difference we could make and understanding the impact that just getting involved can have, has really influenced a lot of the things that I have done since then and the way that I've approached my community engagement. So I am forever grateful to Sharon for not only the work that she's done on all of our behalves, but just the impact that she has on me personally. So Jonathan and Sharon serve as examples of why I respect those who came before me, but also why I strive to make a difference to those who are coming after my generation. We mentioned the legacy, or we mentioned the Leadership Institute earlier. I had the good fortune of being a part of the development of that program, a very small part as part of one Iowa's committee when that organization or when that group was formed. Are there any graduates of the Leadership Institute in the room? I'd just love to see a show of hands. You. I fully expect to see so many of you up here in the next generations. You are doing amazing things. And I have never been so excited about something that One Iowa has done because I view that Leadership Institute as the long game. The people who are fighting against us and the people who are really working so hard up the hill, they have a long game. And our Leadership Institute, I told this to Daniel when we started this, it's the long game. We've got to get more people involved in our community and spread it out throughout the community. So thank you for being here and for the leadership that you are already showing but will continue to show for decades to come. I think I can speak on behalf of every legacy leader that we are here to support you. We're here to answer questions, and we are here to be your champions throughout the course of your advocacy and your lives in the future. So many of the joyous moments that I have had in my life are the result of coming out. And my ability to live and love authentically. Dancing under the stars with my friends while sailing in the Mediterranean. Being downtown in the sculpture park when marriage equality passed. The energy there was so incredible. Attending my first gay wedding. My friends Rick and Tracy were not able to come tonight due to illness, but I have never been in a room that had so much love, energy directed toward two people in my entire life. And I wish they were here tonight just to be able to say to them what an inspiration their love has been to me my entire life. The queer author Paul Manette wrote, "When you finally come out, there's a pain that stops. And you know it will never hurt like that again." Those words are so true for me. The pain that I felt being in the closet was so intense and so all-encompassing that as soon as I came out, it all went away. And nothing I have faced since then has been as intense and as horrible as the feeling of being in the closet. So if you have the opportunity to help somebody come out of the closet, if you have a child, if you have a brother or sister, somebody you work with, if you can be somebody who's an ally to them and a support to them, just know how much pain you're taking away from them by helping them come out of the closet. So his quote is true for me, and it's motivated me to try to make it true for others as well, through my friendships, my community involvement, and through my work. It's not lost on me that my career has given me the unique opportunity to influence diversity, equity, and inclusion programs within the employers that I've had. And it's allowed me to give marginalized employees a voice and a platform. Being in corporate communications has just enabled me to do that. And it's not something I take lightly. That's been part of my professional role. While I know there's a lot of work to be done, especially in the corporate space, I think we can certainly say that we've seen a few of our, corporate allies kind of fall by the wayside, especially recently. If you're here and you represent an organization, please don't give up on us. Don't bend to the will of the folks who are meeting up the hill on Saturday for faith and family to fight against us. They're going to come after you and they're going to tell you need to stop supporting us. So please, please, please don't do that. Before I close, I need to give some thanks for this honor. First, to DSM Magazine and our sponsors. Thank you for supporting the LGBTQ+ community. As I said, it's very valuable. It's very important that you be here. Second, to my friends who nominated me, wrote letters of support, and who are here today supporting me and to all of us. Your belief in my impact, both on your own lives and in our community, is deeply meaningful to me. And if that's my legacy, I can be proud of that. Last but surely not least, my mom, Sandy, and my partner, John. You're my family, you're my foundation, and you're my constant inspiration for what I do. And I appreciate you so immensely, especially in the last couple of years of me needing to take a little bit of a break, both professionally and personally, in these very difficult times. I'm raring to go, and it's because of you and your support that I'm here today, and looking forward to continuing this legacy that we share. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you so much, Scott. Everything that I keep hearing tonight is about how each legacy leader was able to be an inspiration in sort of a way. And sometimes I don't think we know we're being leaders. I don't think we know that we're inspiring people. From Rick working behind the scenes and for very good reasons, but you inspire people to keep going. I have a mentor of mine, Jenny Smith, who was a mom and ran a company, and I didn't think you could be gay, have kids, and run a company all at the same time. You have to be able to see yourself. You have to be able to see a future where you can be. And so thank you to all the queer people in this room tonight who are maybe quietly being a mentor, or maybe you don't even know it, but I just want to take a moment to recognize those folks who will be up here on the stage someday, but I see the work you're doing right now. And that makes Amy Wickendahl the best follow-up to what I just said. Amy is our final honoree tonight, and she is a two-term member of the Hiawatha City Council. This is a town of about 7,000 people in Lynn County, As a community leader, she focuses on everyday issues such as property taxes, multifamily housing, and new parks. She also happens to be the first openly transgender Iowan elected to public office. Amy shows up. That's all there is to it. She shows up when we ask her to come to the Capitol. She makes a trip to do that. She gives inspiring speeches, but she shows up at our city council and continues to make this impact. She first jumped into politics to help small businesses after hearing from a local tattoo artist that the city government was trying to force them to move their shop to a new location. So Amy ran for a spot on that city council. Not only did she claim one of the 3 seats in a 5-way race, she earned more votes than anyone on the ballot. As she told DSM magazine, even though people may not always agree with you on certain issues, if you're honest about who you are and why you think that way, they'll give you more of the benefit of a doubt than if you pander. And others have taken notice. Elle Lyon, a community activist and former One Iowa board member, described Amy as a fearless advocate and not afraid of any of her thoughts. She lives authentically without judgment, and she encourages and challenges business leaders to think about diversity in the workplace. So what's next for Amy? Well, stay tuned. Please welcome to the stage Amy Baker.
Talking about why so many people are coming out as queer lately, and I have to say it's probably that damn JCPenney catalog. Because I too looked at the JCPenney catalog when I was younger in the women's section. I'm like, man, that looks good on me. I also am a writer, and so as in the great proud writing tradition, this speech is still being written. Also, yes, grammar was not my strongest subject, so if you do find any of my missing commas, please bring them back to me. I want to thank DSM magazine for this humbling recognition and say a big congratulations to all my fellow honorees. I want to say a big thank you to One Iowa as well. Certainly your efforts do not go unnoticed. Without you, this state would be a different place and not for the better. If I'm able to do anything, it is because of the support of so many wonderful and courageous people. I would like to say a special thank you to Elle Lyon, who put forth this nomination. Elle, there are a few people I've known as long as you. Thank you for your enduring friendship. You are truly an inspiration to me. I'd like to also say to my totes bestie, Joe Stutler, your courageous spirit and determination, your courage to stand for the liberty and justice of your fellow Americans is truly the definition of valor. Thank you for your service to our country and our armed forces, and thank you for always being my friend. Please show big jokes and love. And to the great people of the city of Hiawatha, thank you for bestowing your trust on me these past 8 years. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve you. I can only hope that I've done some small measure to make our community a better place to live, work, and play. This has been a trying year for the trans community and queer Iowans across the state. It is a year in which our governor and our legislature decided to make a mockery of the words written on our flag. Our liberties we prize and our rights we will maintain. I know that many have left the state and many more aren't considered it. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought of it as well. To return to my native state of Minnesota, but that would break the promise that I made to myself, namely that no one gets to take my home away from me. In my darkest hour, when I lost my apartment in Marion, I found a home in Hiawatha, and no one, not the governor, not this legislature, So I will keep fighting for the rights of Iowans until we have a government in this state that understands that liberty and justice for all is not optional. To do that, I ask for your help. For everybody in this room, please tell the members of the trans community that they are loved and welcome. Speak up and speak out against injustice wherever it occurs. And support those candidates who will lead our state into a brighter future. To our business and corporate partners in this room here tonight, I want to ask one thing. Please make sure you know where your money is going for, and make sure that none of your donations that go to super PACs that stand against the rights of queer Iowans and the LGBTQ community. Next year is certainly going to be a hard year, but I also do believe it is going to be a turning point in which we, the people, aspired for higher values and rejected the lower common denominator politics, and which we put out the culture war dumpster fire that has consumed our capital. And a year in which we will reaffirm the words written on our flag. I know this path won't be easy, but it is one that we must walk. And if we stand fast, stand tall, and stand together, it is a future that we can realize. Thank you so much for this award. Thank you so much for your love tonight. Thank you.
I told you from the get-go that they were a wise group of people. You heard it right through their own words. Thank you. Thank you, all of you, for being here, and especially thank you to the honorees. We want you to know how much we appreciate all of the contributions you made over the years. But I will tell you, on a personal note, that is humbling to thank you because it feels so insufficient. In my own life, it just so happened that I was ready to tie the knot in 2009 when Iowa, the state of Iowa, decided that my own big fat gay wedding would be legal. It was like the clouds parted and the sun broke through and my husband Heath and I got to walk down the aisle right on time. And it felt like magic, but you all know that was not magic. That was the direct result of the quiet work and determination of so many people in this room. So I thank you, but I also know that I can never repay that debt. I can never pay you back. But together, we can help pay it forward. The only way that I know how to thank you is to share your stories, to learn from your examples, and to continue the work that you have just started. Before we wrap up tonight, we want to thank our co-presenting sponsors, American Equity and One Iowa, our supporting sponsors, Brabant's Medical Center and Tarot International, as well as our advocates and corporate sponsors joining us today. Apparently, JCPenney is also a sponsor. And so we thank you, JCPenney. For more stories like this, you can find them in the beautiful new blue editions of DSM Magazine on your tables. We encourage you to subscribe to DSM and IA magazines, and to check out all of our products online. There are digital versions. You can find the website at dsmmagazine.com. You can follow us on social media. You know how to find us. There's more of this good information in print and online. We also encourage you to join us for other events throughout the year to connect to the community. If you have story ideas, I'm all ears. And if you would like to learn about sponsorships or advertising, my colleagues are all ears and would like to hear from you. As we wind up, it's clear that many of our honorees grew up at a time when information was scarce, role models were rare, and leadership opportunities acknowledging their LGBTQ identity did not exist. Progress has been made, and we have more work to do. Again, we offer a special thank you to our presenting sponsors, American Equity and One Iowa. We could not do this without you and the support of Courtney for her help up here at the podium. Thank you also to our supporting sponsors, Broadbonds Medical Center and Tarot International. Thank you to our corporate sponsors and all of the advocates, including all of you who are here tonight who showed up to celebrate these tremendous legacy leaders. To my DSM and BPC colleagues, thank you for your wonderful work pulling off this event. And to all of our honorees, thank you for being you, for sharing your authentic, real selves. You have made a difference, and you inspire all of us. Have a good night.